It was just 3 days after the horrific, world-changing terrorist attacks of 9/11 when Congress voted on a resolution to authorize the use of U.S. military force in response. That legally and formally started what would ultimately become known as the War on Terror. But in the immediate wake of that attack on the country, again, just a couple days after the attack, not a single member of Congress voted against authorizing that use of military force, except for one.
This unspeakable act on the United States has really forced me, however, to rely on my moral compass, my conscience, and my God for direction. September 11th changed the world. Our deepest fears now haunt us. Yet I am convinced that military action will not prevent further acts of international terrorism against the United States.
Can you imagine how scary it must have been to stand up and say that? I mean, we were so terrorized and terrified as a country. But to have that courage of conviction, to have that sense of purpose and moral compass, to have the bravery to stand up and say, this horrific act has made me come to a different conclusion than all the rest of you, than every other member of Congress. Imagine what that took in the moment. California Congresswoman Barbara Lee was the sole member of Congress who decided that day that the tragedy of 9/11 just days earlier, horrible as it was not a good justification for an open-ended legal authorization to get the U.S. involved anywhere in the world in what would become decades of war. A year later, the House was set to vote on yet another blanket authorization for the use of military force, this one pegged to an invasion of Iraq. That time, when the vote came for the AUMF, Barbara Lee was not alone. 132 of her fellow House members voted with Barbara Lee against authorizing the use of force for the Iraq War. That wasn't enough to stop the bill. And so instead of one forever war, America then had two. This year will mark 20 years since Congresswoman Barbara Lee took that first sole vote against America's unending wars, the legal authorization that allowed America to use military force in the name of 9/11 in a way that was unended and global. During the time that those authorizations for the use of force have remained in place, they've been used as justification for all kinds of military interventions all around the world, even ones that had precisely zero to do with Iraq or Afghanistan or 9/11. It became a blanket authorization for the use of military force at the president's say-so without Congress ever having to weigh in again. But now, all of a sudden, things appear to be changing. Today, the House of Representatives voted on a resolution to repeal the authorization for use of military force, the second one, the one that started the Iraq War. The lead sponsor of the bill to end one of America's longest wars, to repeal that authorization for the use of military force, was none other than the same Congresswoman, Barbara Lee. And this time, she not only had company, but the majority was on her side. The resolution to repeal the authorization for the use of military force passed 268 to 161. Persist. Persist, persist, persist. It takes forever, and then all of a sudden it happens. Joining us now is Democratic California Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Congresswoman Lee, it's a real pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. It's been such a huge day today.
Thank you. Nice being with you, Rachel.
Before I actually ask you about the AUMF, I also have to ask you about the Juneteenth vote and the signing ceremony. Am I correct that you were at the signing ceremony today when when President Biden made it a law? How was it?
Thank you for covering this, Rachel, because this is quite a historical moment for our country. We need to make sure the stories are told about everyone in our country, including African Americans, and the horrific, barbaric Middle Passage and slavery and what happened. And I just have to say, it's personal for me also, because my grandfather, who helped raise me in Texas, was born in Galveston, Texas in 1875. And my great-grandmother, Fannie Wilson, was enslaved around Galveston in one of the small towns. And so this is really a major deal. We've celebrated it all our lives. I moved to California in 1960, but I continued to celebrate Juneteenth, and my family did. So this is really a remarkable moment. But it also is a moment for us to recommit ourselves to finish the unfinished business of justice and racial equity and true freedom for African Americans.
For you, given the personal connection that you just described to the national commemoration of Juneteenth and your personal role, your honestly legendary bravery on the issue of authorizing military force after the terrorist attacks of 9/11, to have these two things coming together at the same time in the House, like literally within 24 hours, this must be a pretty momentous time in your life. This must feel like you've sort of risen to the peak.
Rachel, I tell you, it's overwhelming in some respects, but it just reminds me that this is a long haul we're in. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I hope our young people understand that the fight for justice, the fight for democracy and to protect our Constitution, sometimes it just doesn't happen right away, but we have to be persistent. We have to know what we're doing. We have to believe. My dad was in the military 25 years. I'm a military brat. And there was no way that I could authorize the use of force forever. And that was a 60-word resolution right after 9/11 authorization that I just could not support.
It was interesting to me to see that I think it was 49 Republican members of the House joined more than 200 Democrats in making this vote happen. I wanted to ask if you were surprised by how bipartisan this vote was. I feel like I've seen some interesting contours where this issue of authorizing military force and indeed the use of American military force around the world doesn't always fall neatly on partisan lines. I wanted to ask if those vote totals surprised you at all, and if that gives you any confidence in predicting what might happen in the Senate, which of course would need to do the same thing in order for this to get to President Biden's desk.
Well, Rachel, we've built the support over the years, and I just want to say I have to thank the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Congressman Gregory Meeks, and Speaker Pelosi and Mr. Hoyer for helping us navigate this to get it to the floor. But the American Legion supported it, the Americans for Prosperity, Win Without War, the Friends Committee. So this didn't just happen overnight. We have built bipartisan support over the years. And I was very pleased that we got 49 Republican votes. I've been working with so many, and I have to remember Walter Jones, who passed away a few years ago. He helped me start making this a bipartisan effort. And so here we are now moving on to the Senate. I've spoken with Senator Kaine. We're cautiously optimistic that we'll be able to move this forward. The president has indicated he is ready to sign it. He issued what we call a statement of support, a SAP. And so we have to keep working. And I'm hopeful and confident that sooner or later, hopefully this year, we will get this to President Biden's desk for a signature.
Well, it is your work that is bearing fruit tonight in so many ways. I don't know about your personal situation in your life right now, Congresswoman Lee, but you better have somebody who has bought you flowers or at least a cocktail tonight, because this is the culmination of a lot of very hard work, and it's a testament to your leadership, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rachel. Really enjoyed being with you.
All right. As I said, that bill that passed the House today in an overwhelming vote and a very bipartisan vote, it now heads to the Senate. And as Congresswoman Lee just mentioned there, the chief advocate for repealing this authorization for the use of military force, chief advocate for repealing that in the Senate has been Virginia Democratic Senator Tim Kaine. Senator Kaine also happens to sit on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. That's going to be the first place that gets a vote in the Senate. Senator Kaine